Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Real Estate Rockstars interview with your host Hannah. We are interviewing real estate experts or those who are related to the industry. And that goes for Travis. Today I'm welcoming Travis Thom, the founder and CEO of Elevated Real Estate Marketing. As you can know from the name, he is focusing on marketing in the world of Facebook, and that is big. So Travis, thank you so much for coming today. And I would like to dive deep right now. But before that, I have a question. How did you become an entrepreneur?
Thank you so much for having me here. And absolutely, I became an entrepreneur actually at a really young age. When I was 18 years old, I got into real estate, and I actually started internet marketing when I was about 17 years old. I started an online casino at the time, and
You got me interested right now. So I hope we will have enough time to get back to the Facebook, but please do tell.
Right, absolutely. So I learned internet marketing from that. And it was really kind of interesting, introduction into online digital marketing. And then I got into real estate, got my license when I was 18, became a qualifying broker when I was 21, grew my team when I was about 23, 24. I started to grow it to about 34 people, and then became Realtor Magazine top 30 under 30 when I was about 26 years old. At that time, I had 271 listings, and it was a really exciting, fun time. And I kind of had a blueprint of what we would do to basically market our listings. And I would get a listing, we would build a single property website for it, we would run Facebook ads for it. And our whole goal was to get 2 buyers and 1 seller from every listing campaign that we had. And with Facebook, it was something that was very new. This was the mid 2000s. The ad platform came out in 2006. So we were basically just kind of operating blind. We had no idea what we were doing. And that led me to get into Facebook ads, in my early 20s. This is, something that was still kind of new to everyone. And because I was doing it in my market and a lot of people weren't, I was able to really gain a lot of traction and get my name out there and generate a lot of leads. And from that, it started to then build this love for marketing, and it started to grow and grow to where I sold my real estate brokerage and said, hey, I want to get into marketing more, and started to do this, and fell in love with basically building large scale Facebook marketing campaigns, started to consult on it, started to work with regional and national clients. And then I started to talk about the subject across the country, caught the attention of Facebook headquarters, who actually asked if I would work at Facebook and offered me a position. It said no, and ended up then basically I operate an ad agency, but I also sit on the advisory board at Facebook headquarters for the real estate vertical. And giving them feedback on what we're doing. So basically sort of when I was really young, I kind of cut my teeth there in terms of entrepreneurship. And it was the only thing that I knew. So I only had one previous job before that.
Wow. So you have started in marketing in a casino, you created your own very successful brokerage, then you pivoted smoothly into Facebook, got offered a job in a Facebook headquarters, said no thank you, I have something better to do. I'm impressed. I am so happy that you are taking your time off and helping us to understand what is happening with Facebook right now. Do you have any update?
So right now with Facebook, there's a lot of opportunities that Facebook is teeing up, especially for people in real estate. And they're using a lot of artificial intelligence in the background to make the campaigns perform better. And that's called Advantage Plus. And Advantage Plus is basically a little radio dial that you click on certain campaigns to let Facebook choose better audiences, choose different placements, but also take your images and polish them and resize them. So it really allows Facebook to do a lot of some of the finer optimization details of a campaign, and it does a better job of finding better audiences. But in terms of actual products, Facebook's lead generation tool, Facebook Lead Forms, has definitely got some pretty major updates where they allow you to really choose if you want to generate leads or if you want someone to click to call, like click the button on the ad and then it basically goes directly to your cell phone. Or if you want to, let's say they click on an ad, instead of going to a Facebook Lead form, it then goes to Messenger and asks the same questions that you had on your Facebook Lead form, but it converts it to Messenger. And Facebook will actually A/B split test that to an audience based on their behavioral habits. So if someone likes to use Messenger more and engages with businesses via Messenger more than they do Lead forms, it's going to show them the option to take them through Messenger. Or if they like to engage with Lead forms more, it's going to show them the lead ad. So there's different opportunities that Facebook is really showing us to be able to optimize and say, hey, we're going to position better tools using the Facebook Lead forms. Now, Facebook Lead forms have also been advanced to where they have different filtering. So you can start to segment certain leads or filter leads to disqualify them in a way. So when you click on an ad, the Facebook Lead form, as you click on it, flips around and it's a mini landing page, essentially, like a little mini form, still inside of Facebook. It's lightning fast. Auto populates their first name, last name, email, and phone number. And then you typically ask a couple qualifying questions. When do you plan on buying a home? Do you currently own a home? Yes or no? Price range, certain things like that. Now, with the filtering, you can be able to say if this lead says that they don't own a home, then send them to a different question, a follow-up question, or kind of disqualify the lead and say, thanks so much for your time. And that lead then won't get sent to you. So there's a way to really kind of say, I only want seller leads from this campaign, people that say, yes, they own a home. And so there's different really kind of nice tools that Facebook is using to be able to segment audiences when you're running those campaigns. But right now, Facebook is also starting to gear up where probably 2024, 2025, maybe even sooner, the artificial intelligence that they have is going to be able to actually build ad creative images for us. So the artificial intelligence is being able to say, hey, what do you want us to build? We'll build video or just images based on certain creative ad copy that you're typing in. And so that's part of the future that Facebook is looking for, is basically how can we make your life easier as an advertiser?
Wow. I need to stop you. I'm like overloaded with all the information and also the future. I'm really excited because you are right at the source. So since we don't have so much time, definitely will have you again. But let's say I'm an agent. I need a help. I don't have so much technical knowledge as you do. I don't have a time to learn right now, write all these excuses, but we'll get to that later on. So give me 3 tips. What should I do? How should I treat Facebook to possibly generate more leads or promote my listings without annoying my friends? Like, what would be like the soft balance in and still being friendly on Facebook, yet promoting my work?
Well, so from a paid advertising standpoint, there's basically, I kind of break it down into 3 segments, which is that you should be running a brand awareness campaign, basically some sort of video campaign that is going to be to a cold audience, right? People that don't know you just yet, but that's going to be in your local neighborhood, your community. You're going to be targeting people that have engaged with Realtor.com, Zillow, it could be online mortgage calculators, kind of a segment of that audience that's looking to buy or sell in the near future. Now, video view campaigns of them is really just building that brand presence and your audience then starts to build, because people that watch those videos, you can create custom audiences and retarget people that watch your videos. But that's one part. So I would say produce content, start to get out there with your face, your brand, and position out there via video. Second from that is then being able to go after the low-hanging fruit, which is going to be your referrals. So your sphere of influence, past clients, friends and family. What you want to do is build a custom audience. And you do that by taking a CSV file, a list, basically an Excel sheet of all of your friends, family, past clients, everyone in your database that has first name, last name, email, phone number, city, state, and zip code. You're then going to go into Facebook Ad Manager. You're going to upload that as a custom audience, and then you're going to retarget that custom audience. You're going to run ads just to them. Again, that's going to be different video content that you're going to position out there, and that's going to then show up just to them in their newsfeed. They can basically refer back to you. Now, I think the statistic is that 64% of business comes from your database of friends and family referrals. So we want to make sure that we're nurturing and retargeting them to encourage referrals. And as you're doing that, email them, text them, be able to encourage some sort of feedback and engagement from them. The third one is then making sure that you have something to offer that's a lead magnet out there. And if you don't have properties, then you can start with a seller guide or offering a buyer guide, or offering a list of properties priced under a certain amount that goes to your IDX feed. So there's different opportunities there, but I think they should focus on creating video, getting that video out to the right people. So starting off with a brand awareness campaign. Second from that, nurturing your sphere of influence. And then third, building a pipeline with leads, offering some sort of lead magnet that provides value, and then continue to follow up with those individuals.
Wow, I got it. I managed to take a note. So let's do a little recap, because Travis, your speed is speed of light, and I need to slow my thinking down while having you just give us all the golden nuggets. So number one, guys, it's a brand awareness. You need to start with that. Everyone in your environment needs to know that you are a real estate agent and you are an expert. Number two is the referrals, sphere of influence, and your customized audience. And number three is to have an offer to showcase a listing or give some useful information. So this is like a full-time job.
It could be. Yeah, sometimes it can be.
Wow. So I absolutely agree that number one is brand awareness. And I think seeing some of your campaigns and seeing some of your content on Facebook, tell me a little bit more about it, because what I've noticed that you always have, not always, but you do tend to have a shocking images. Now people will be Googling you and Facebooking you. And you do quite a lot of text with your visuals. So what's behind it?
So I'm typically creating different content on my business pages and my own personal Facebook page, testing out different content to see what resonates with the audiences. And so for me, as a marketer, I'm testing out, sometimes I'll do a video with maybe 3 or 4 words as the copy. So it's really short form copy, or I'll do a eye-catching image that is maybe not necessarily hyper relevant to the actual content, but it's eye-catching, gets people to stop. And then I might have 2,000 words, like long form copy in that post. And with that, I'm testing out multiple different variations of that. And what I'm trying to find is what gets the most shares, comments, and likes. And then I'm taking that content and then I'm turning that into an ad and then running that. So the content that works, and typically kind of keep this in mind, if you're posting anything on your business page or organically, and it starts to pick up some speed, maybe, and everyone has a different scale of what that looks like. Yours might be got 1 share and then it maybe had 12 comments and 40 likes. Good, right? That's something to kind of a benchmark to work with. So you might have another one that has 1 like and maybe no comments. Well, it could be the time of day. It could be, the actual day itself. And you got to have a couple different variations of these to keep testing out to see what actually works and resonates with your audience. So the one that had the most amount of engagement, we're going to take that and then turn that into an ad. And that kind of ad is more focused on brand awareness, because we're getting people to engage with it and look at it from the lens of you're trying to control the narrative to get your message out to those individuals so that they can connect with you and build familiarity, and that familiarity builds trust over time. So I would start to work with your own content and see what that feels. Find your voice, find something that is fun to write, that tells a story, creates some kind of value or impact to the person that's reading on the other side, and then keep doing it until you find a nice groove of saying, oh, this works really well. And I'm going to take this piece of content, turn it into an ad, and I'm going to run it to brand awareness to people out there. I'm going to run it to maybe my sphere of influence and get your message out there. Because at the end of the day, on the organic side, on a business page, your posts are really only going to reach about 3% of your audience. The 3% that likes or follows your page, which is really not much at all, right? It's very, very small. So in order to actually get more traction, we have to then basically kind of gamify it, post more on our personal page and turn things into ads, put paid advertising behind it. On your personal page, organically, there's 1,400 posts that are trying to make it in everyone's newsfeed on a daily basis. Only 300 of them actually make it, and out of every 6 to 8 post you see is an advertisement. So it's kind of a mixture of those out of there. And so what you post organically is finite, right? It's basically it's kind of the life of the lifetime value of it is maybe 2 to 3 days, right, at most, or maybe a couple hours, depending on the algorithm. So you want to give content a little bit more life and turn that into an ad so you can extend the lifetime value of that content that you created organically and start to run that on brand awareness, retargeting anyone that's watched your videos, retargeting friends and family, retargeting anyone that's looked at your Instagram or your Reels. And so that way, once maybe you only had maybe 45 people look at, engage with a piece of content, you've now turned that into maybe 45,000 people over the course of, let's say, 30 days, and maybe you're only spending $250, right? So that's how I typically start to work on some of my content and turn that content into ads and be able to really stretch out that content. So I'm not having to produce more and more content to constantly be out there and be relevant.
Yeah, couple questions. I'm sure everyone who is listening is waiting for the budget number, and you just mentioned $250.
Right.
So why don't we gently tap into budgeting? What makes sense? What does not? Where can someone like me start if I'm not giving any money to Facebook? But yes, I would like to invest some money into marketing. What's the budget like? What's the budgeting? What makes sense? And how do I understand that I am getting some money back or I am making a difference?
Absolutely. With Facebook, there's different objectives, advertising objectives inside the Facebook Ad Manager. And so you've got a couple of different options and choices to work with that are attached to your goal, your end goal. So lead generation is an objective, and that is pretty self-explanatory. It's to generate leads, right? And so the goal there is to build a pipeline, a database of interested prospects. Now, the budget there is different than the objective of brand awareness. And that objective essentially is built for getting your name out there, reaching as many people as possible, not necessarily to click on your ad and move forward to a website because it's not engineered or optimized in the algorithm to do that. It's really just engineered to make sure that it gets your content out to tens of thousands of people in a very short amount of time. And reach and saturate the audience in almost at a high frequency, meaning that they're going to see your ad probably 2 or 3 times, right? Over the course of maybe 30 days, let's say. So brand awareness, you could get away with spending $5 a day with an audience size of, let's say, 100,000 people. Are you going to reach?
I can do that. I can skip the coffee from Starbucks.
And so that's, I mean, it's a really reasonable cost when you look at it to go, what would it cost for me to get in front of that many people? So, I mean, to kind of break it down into the aspects of overall advertising, if I'm going to buy a commercial on TV, that's going to cost me anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 for a 30-second spot, right? For my local neighborhood. Minimum investment of probably $10,000. Now, to reach, let's say, 50,000 people. If I want to spend something on Facebook, I can spend $5 a day, or let's say, to be exact, I'm going to spend $8 a day, which will be $250 for 30 days. So 1 month campaign is spending $8 a day. I'm going to be able to reach maybe 50,000 people, maybe more, for only $250, which comes down to really kind of, maybe 10 cents per video view instead of, a large kind of commercial on TV. So the cost is relatively cheap. I mean, it's extremely affordable to get in front of that many people. Now, the budget with lead generation is really more engineered based on the audience size and a bidding auction to get in front of the right audience. So typically minimum lead generation, you should be spending about $10 to $15 a day for an audience of, let's say, 200 to 400,000 people in the audience. And we're not going to reach all of them. We're going to reach a healthy percentage of them, but we're going to be spending $10 to $15 a day minimum, right, to be in front of that. So you're looking at maybe around $400, $500 for lead generation with that kind of campaign. And so overall, there's different ways to really build these kind of campaigns. But I believe if you have a budget of anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month, that you can run lead generation campaigns, brand awareness campaigns, retargeting campaigns, and be able to get your name out there and really saturate your audience, and be able to stay ahead of the market, because there's a good majority of agents. Realtor.com recently came out and said, or National Association of Realtors said, that 80% of agents don't leverage video. Or sorry, 85% of agents don't leverage video. So if you're part of that 15% that is, right, congratulations, you're in there. But now there's a smaller percentage of that 15% that's actually running ads with their video. So if you do that and you lean in, you're going to be light years ahead of your competition, because there's a lot of people out there within your local market that aren't leaning in and actually investing in their advertising. And so, and when you asked about success and metrics, one of the things with brand awareness campaigns, it can be really hard to track and manage and say, okay, what is the success rate for this? And typically, the success rate is really based on view time, right? How many people have watched a percentage of your video, and that's kind of getting in the weeds a little bit there. But the overall part of it is impressions. So recently, we had a client, we were looking at his campaign. He had 280,000 impressions. So 280,000 people watched 10 of his videos that he had running to a local market. So that's a lot of impressions within it was a 45 day runtime. So 45 days, 280,000 impressions. If you keep doing that over time, the numbers are going to build. You're going to build more familiarity with the audience. People are going to start to say, oh, that's so-and-so. When you show up to a listing appointment, they're going to see you and know you, who you are and what you're about. When you talk to a family, that is maybe friends and family or a past client, they're going to be seeing your videos. They're going to refer people to you, right? So it starts to build over time. It's not instantaneous. It's definitely playing the long game, especially then with lead generation, which our objective there is to get conversations. And so we measure the success there, which is what is the cost per lead? How many leads are we building, right? What is the quality of lead that we're getting? And the quality isn't necessarily the conversations. It's also about the answers from our questions in the Facebook lead form. When do you plan on buying? Well, next 30 days, 60, 90 days, right? It's kind of a shorter frame. Do you own a home? Yes, they own a home. Great. We've got a sell lead that needs to sell in the next 60 to 90 days. That's a higher quality lead. How can we engage them in conversation? And so from there, then it's about conversations. How many of those are talking to you via text message and responding back? There's a vast majority, 90% of those that aren't going to communicate with you until maybe 4 months, 5, 8 months, maybe even a year from now. But it takes 22 different attempts, 22 different digital touch points now to be able to get someone to respond. So think about email, phone calls, text messages, seeing your ads, retargeting them. All of that is a braided harmony that comes into play when you need to think about Facebook lead generation and marketing.
Wow. Wow. I have a lot to think about. I definitely need you to come back to Real Estate Rockstars. I already know 3 topics I would love to question you about. Number 1 would be definitely deep dive into brand awareness. Number 2 would be content creating. And number 3 would be lead generation. I think if I can get you on a schedule, this is something what can help a lot of realtors who are watching this interview. Travis, thank you so much for carving a time in your very busy schedule. Where can people find you if they would like to reach out directly and get maybe help from your agency? How do they find you?
Absolutely. So if anyone's interested, they can go to elevatedrem.com and elevatedrem.com or Travis Thom, last name is spelled Thom, so travisthom.com. Either one of those, they can get in touch with me. On travisthom.com, we've got some great videos that walk you through some strategies. On elevatedrem.com, we've got different ways to connect with us.
Fantastic. And always keep in mind, we will have Travis back and we will get a lot of update and a lot of information on Facebook and how to use it to our benefits, which means more listings, more sales, more whatever we want in life. Guys, thank you so much again for watching our interview. If you have any questions regarding Facebook, why don't you write it down in the comments? We can bring them back during our next interview. And until then, you be good, you be kind, and you go get them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.